Are you aware that this isn't HVZ legal? I don't know if all of you are aware, but I am a dwarf and I diggy hole. And what I mean by that is I have an appreciation for dwarves in popular media. I play one frequently in tabletop games and online games. And I, like a dwarf, have a preference for mass-driven melee weapons. That is hammers, axes, pickaxes, and the like. I own reproduction ones for Renaissance fairs and the like. I own every Nerf BattleAxe, save the Nerf Warlock BattleAxe, which you have a Warlock and you want to offload a Warlock and you were looking for a good home for a Warlock in fairly good nick. Go ahead and reach out. I want to buy it from you. I have Spirit Halloween axes. I have axes bought for me by Alan at Renaissance fairs that are cool and have never actually been used. And none of them are legal in HVZ. I mean, obviously this isn't, but like, come on. Come on. So, I need an axe that's legal in HVZ play. The BattleAxe by SillyButts. It's a pump action shell fed shotgun that utilizes silly shells, and it's pretty cool. This specifically is using the vested clover kit, and let's get into how I put this thing together. So this, as I said, is the BattleAxe by SillyButts. By the time you guys see this part, I'll already have glued this part and this part. These have been sitting for like 2 days, so they're good to go. This is the long mag version, so I can fire full-length MXL. Before we begin, blah, 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 blah. I have read all the instructions. There are 185 pages of instructions. Like, this is incredibly complete. Full hardware list. I bought the kit from Out of Darts. We've got our parts all laid out here. Printed, in-house, bamboo A1. Pretty happy with it. Really like that thing. Makes printing an appliance instead of a hobby of its own. So, real big fan. Magazine sections, and what I think of as the oranges. Okay, yeah, did this, printed, looked at parts, remove supports, we did that. Okay. It wants us to look at the ejector and the extractor and make sure they rotate smoothly on an M3 screw. I got 2 different springs for this because I'm shooting for HVZ compliance. I think this is the actual hardware list. Yeah, look at that. Oh, intensive. Pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. Cool. We're gonna need calipers at some point because I did not print a spring sizer or a screw sizer. Should really print one of those at some point so I have one. I cleaned up the magazines already. Let's group our M3 screws as indicated. So these are probably 30s. Yeah. Let's get... no, we can do it without a pen. So these will be our others. Okay. We already did these. So they can go just in the heat sets drawer. Okay, moving on. Assembly, plunger. As with most SillyButts designs, your plunger assembly is a plunger head, a plunger head rear, and a plunger armature itself. First step is one of those M330s that I was just playing with. Hodo electric screwdriver, not a sponsor. But if you guys want to sponsor me, you can absolutely send me an email. I will absolutely be down for that. And Vera bits, because German engineering. Okay. Power on. Vroom vroom. Yep, that's good. I've got no penetration from either side. Okay, we're looking for M3 by 16. There we go. For the record, when you're measuring screws, if you're not aware, you're measuring from the base of the head to the bottom of the threads, or the bottom of the screw if it's a, you know, pointed screw or the like. When you're dealing with machine screws and bolts, it's another story. Okay, so plunger rod. As usual, you get some padding because it's a SillyButts design. You're gonna do your best to center this. There we go. I did not do the spacer. I may have to go back and do the spacer later. We'll see. But I did not do the spacer. So I'm just going to put the big old O-ring on there. And there is a plunger rod. As you will see in the other clip, we already did the actual plunger tube, right? So these two are now ready to live together. The seal is, wow, excellent. Good Lord, that's really gonna need lube. Did the heat sets. I would strongly urge anyone doing heat sets to get a freaking iron and do them with an iron. Do not do it with a screw, like Silly says you totally could, but man, that is a nightmare. Bolt face glue up is in here too. You'll see that in the other clip. Maybe I'll just cut the clip in right here. These two parts have to be prepped, and we're gonna prep them ahead of time. I'm shooting this several days before I'm gonna shoot the rest of the video. So what we're gonna do in this is two things. One, we are going to prep our plunger tube cap, and I think this, what do you call this, Silly? Your breech block or something? It's in here somewhere. There are 185 pages of instructions for this. So just so you guys are aware, if you're gonna build one of these, Silly has provided you with all the here it is. Yeah, the bolt face. So all we're gonna do on this one, and it is sitting this way, is we are gonna secure our O-ring on here. And that's kind of the easier one of the two, because there's just less to do with it, right? Yeah, that's a good fit. That'll be fine. And then we're gonna do this plunger tube, which is a little more involved. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna plug in this. This is my spare soldering iron that I use exclusively for heat sets. We have the right size, like I thought. We're doing M3s. We're gonna plug this in, and we're gonna ignore it over here for now. But that's hot. Don't touch the hot iron. Cool. As always, we'll be using Bob Smith Industries super glue. I'm a big BSI guy. I'm a big miniatures guy, and BSI super glue is just the best. And we're just gonna kind of run a bead in here. And naturally, someone has to message me while I'm filming. Okay? And then I like to use a flathead to just kind of, you know, make sure it's in all the way around. So Silly wants this to sit for 10 hours after you get it set up. So I'm going to get it set up like so, and then I'm just going to sit it aside over there. Okay, this part is a little simpler and a little more complicated. We got to remove any burrs, which there are definitely some burrs on this plunger tube. I am going to use a deburring tool because, like, it's for burrs. Okay, this is 220. Yeah, this is 220. Take a microfiber. You don't want any random bits and bobs to foul anything down the road when we actually put this thing together. Okay, that's prepped. If you've never done a heat set, they are going to be hot when you set them. I like to use a pair of calipers, kind of stage my heat set like so, put it on the iron, come at it, and just smooth, consistent pressure. Perfect. Heat sets are my preference with all construction. I think all blasters should be put together with heat sets. It makes it easier for maintenance. Eventually, threads are going to degrade plastic. Heat sets, not so much. They're designed to basically be a nut in the plastic. Perfect. Silly's design here is pretty good. He has indications that you will need to trim excess plastic from pressing these in, but these are sized correctly, and I am having no issues at all. They're sinking nice and smooth, right where they're supposed to be, like so. We've got a little bit of a lip right there, but we can trim that as suggested. Last heat set onto the iron. Again, reminder, the iron is hotter than hell. So do not touch it or your heat sets while you're doing this. I am now going to unplug my iron, set it aside. Reminder, that is hot, don't touch that. And I'm going to take my handy dandy utility knife and just kind of run it over. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. This is the only one that even comes close to not being perfect. Well designed, Silly. Very impressed. So, this one, you're going to put your O-ring on, according to the instructions. Right? And you're going to come down here. You cleaned up your plunger tube already. We're going to play with some grease. It comes with grease if you buy the parts kit, but why would I open a brand new one when I perpetually have like 4 of these available? Right? We'll just use this one. Lubricate the O-ring using the supplied grease. A wide line of glue. Thank you, Silly. I know how much glue you use, buddy. Okay. Like so, like a glove, right? And then I'm going to use this and just kind of, there we go. This also needs to sit for at least 10 hours, which means we're going to let it sit for days. Because as I said, we're starting early. This is done, all glued up, ready to go. This is done, all glued up, ready to go. That's probably a good idea. Okay, grip assembly. It's kind of the part I've been excited about. Not going to lie to you, because this is the only place where we have custom pieces. So I just picked out the letters for BattleAxe on the A1 because I can do that with the AMS. But then I had Alan put the Talonaxe on the grips. So that might be a thing I'm just going to do all the time like a weirdo now. And it'll really frustrate my friends because I'm bad at CAD. I am not a CADsman anymore. I have lost that skill in my age. Should really look into it. Really figure it out again. But, you know, lazy. Okay. So your grip scales go together like that. I actually printed these twice because I had printed them in blue because they're in the primary color folder and decided I didn't want even more blue, so I mixed it up a little bit. You get this nylon spacer, which goes right here, and that is your trigger spring, functionally. So your trigger goes in there like that. Your other side panel goes on there like that. Right? And you get another number 4 screw. Drop it in. Right? And you have the actual grip assembly. This is your trigger guard. Big fan of trigger guard. And it just kind of sinks in like so. Do not put a screw in that trigger guard yet, because I don't think it's told me to. Oh, no, it doesn't even want the trigger guard in there yet. So, this has grooves. It will just slide on like so, which is a nice fit. I always like Silly's work because, like, he's got a very particular style to the way things go together. Okay? Got our trigger guard in place, and we're going to do some more number 4 screws. 4 of them in total. And again, this is the Out of Darts hardware kit. So thanks to Luke and his team for, you know, putting it together and making sure it's right. It's one of my favorite things about ordering from Out of Darts. So that's your grip assembly. Stay. Magazine. I'm doing the 5 round. Cleaned up the magazine. So the magazine uses 3 drum springs, which is nuts. Am I not as cleaned up as I think I am? Okay. It's one. I think this is the one that broke. Okay. And again, these are just kind of going through one side, and they have a, he calls it a pocket down at the bottom. It's just designed for good clean retention. And I, of course, love the use of drum springs. They're my favorite mag spring because I feel like we just get better response out of them than we get out of anything else we use. Lubricate the grooves. I don't know why I just opened this one. It's a brand new one. I've got 2 more tiny bottles just kicking around. Spread the lube around using the magazine follower. Why am I talking like Dora the Explorer? Okay. The left magazine piece. I think that's this one. It's the one with holes in it, James. There they are. M4 by 40s. Next step is to put this thing together, which requires lining up your follower with the mag springs that it will retain on both sides. And it's got dovetails, which is the strangest thing I've ever seen, but I'm about it. It's a great methodology that I'm shocked we haven't used earlier in the hobby space. And as long as I can get them all lined up, there we go. Okay. So this lays in here. And I tell it to stay, like a good boy. And this lays in here. Okay, there we go. Come on. Oh, silly, you and me, I'm gonna send you nasty Discord messages about this one. I do not prefer this. Okay. There we go. Screw this thing together. Okay, there's the magazine. That feels good. Let's get a silly shell. Maybe 2. And again, this is the extended mag variant of the silly shell. This is Vested Clover, I think his name is. And it's designed so it'll take full length Mega XL because, yeah. Next, we're going to assemble the muzzle. And we're going to put these shells back so I don't sit them somewhere. And forget about the... That is pretty cool, though. Okay, muzzle. This is my muzzle. This is my muzzle. Got to put this washer in between them. Oh God, don't forget to put this washer in between them. Tells me repeatedly. Okay, it's done. End cap, I'm just using the end strike one, though I might trade it out, I'm not sure. There are just instructions for all of the end caps, but all of them go together basically the same, which is 5 number 4 screws into this component. So. End cap, done. Catch and the end cap. Here's the catch. Needs an M20. That's a 20. Per the instructions, this is just a support to make this more rigid. Always a good idea. Yep, looks like the picture. Good with it. This is your catch. It goes in your end cap. It gets 3 number 4 screws. And I am done with this little short one. Okay. Two springs. Has these little SillyButts kind of signature plastic tabs in your catch. And we're going to go into the assembly with it. Okay. Hey, guess what? It's time for lube. Plunger guide. Plunger guide. Boop. Glad I got out the long screwdriver bit. Rail B slides all the way in. And then guess what? It gets secured with two number 4 screws. Using the Hodo electric screwdriver. Still not a sponsor. Still would take that deal. Yeah, I'm not real pithy today. Like I said, I'm not feeling great. It's cool though. I feel good enough to make content for you. That's how much I care about all of you. I'll even do this while sick. Honestly, I have more time while I'm sick. So, check that the catch is engaging with the plunger. And then the trigger will push this. Good. Gonna lube that. Mid-cover front and ejector. We're making progress. This is mid-cover front. This is ejector. Ejector gets 2 more of these springs. So it's got little dimples in here that it's supposed to line up with. And I don't see that working real well. So we're gonna give it some help. So this will give our springs a lot more of a rigid stance when we're trying to put them in here and allow us to be a little more creative. Yeah, there we go. Give those a second. And we're going to look up what kind of screw is going in here. $20. Okay, that's done. This is one of the parts you have to remove integrated supports from. Just want to clean that up just a little. Rail A, rail A, rail A, rail A, rail A, rail A. Okay. Wait, what? Yeah, I did that. That's it? That's what we were doing there? Okay. The bodies and the bar tensioner. And we just snapped a bar tensioner. Yep. So we're gonna print this again. Okay. Yeah, that split right on the layer line. Okay. We will come back to the body and bar tensioner. That is infuriating. Okay, we're gonna assemble the magazine. Magazine. 2 parts of the magazine. Goes this way. This goes on here like this. We're just gonna do all the other sub-assemblies. We'll come back to the bar tensioner. It's fine. It's fine. We'll use a regular screwdriver when we put it together the next time. We won't have a repeat. Everything's fine. I'm only very furious. And only at myself. So, there is that. There we go. There is the magazine acceptor module thing ready to go. Cool. It gets rail too. And also a different version of the rail because I'm building the long version. Okay. Priming block. two big old fellas, and I think I'm gonna need a big drill bit. Cool. Detents. There we go. A little glue always solves my problems. Okay, we're gonna assemble the priming mech. Okay. 2 more. One more. Okay. Another O-ring goes here. I gotta be honest, I don't normally work this screwdriver this hard. Okay, let's really fix this detent. Gotta love the lube. So that is your priming assembly. That can sit over there. Assembly, priming bar to grip. It's the grip. It's the priming bar. Ka-chow. So that's how that's going to go together. Off camera, I went ahead and put together the new tensioner. Will this just slide in here? No. So this is going to go in here like this. Yeah. And then in here like this. Yeah. Okay. Really don't want to have to go get a right-handed screwdriver, but and again, this is what the instructions show. So I'm just following those. Okay, there we go, there's some bars. Okay, so this slides into here, and this goes in here. It's gonna be like this one, maybe. Am I too big? Too big. Gotta come down one. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I've got a collection of T-handle Allen keys just off screen here. Okay, you know, let's come back a little bit until we're assembled. Okay, so we're gonna go into this next. Okay. The priming block area I am off screen. Okay. You know what? The carriage can just sit right here for a second. There we go. Right? Yeah, that's gotta be right. This shroud okay. Good. A grip piece. Okay. Oopsie. There we go. Okay, so I've got a 5 kilo and an 8 kilo. I think we're gonna try the 5 kilo. And we're gonna hope that we're right. We're just gonna drop it down there. Okay. Takedown pin. Okay. Tighten this till I can feel it getting tight, and then one more turn. That is a functional BattleAxe. I'm gonna need to do a little work. I've got some weirdness going on already, but you know, it's one of those things. Like you can see, this thing goes together pretty easy. I had a couple of issues. My tensioner broke on me during construction, and fitting it all together is perfectly smooth. It feels great, it works great, but this is a different kit than the default SillyButts kit, because this one is the long mag kit. And it is specifically the long mag kit because I want to be able to chamber full length Mega XL, because I don't know what events are going to do to me regarding what is legal and what is not. I have 5 shells here because I'm using the 5 shell magazine. It goes up to a 12 for the record. Full length Mega XL slots in without an issue. We'll do that again. Now, using this full length, you do have to hold a shell down as you load. Regular mega, triple elite loaded with half darts, and rifled single elite loaded with a half dart. Basically just to prove that it can. System is easy, primes forward, shoulders, shells eject, but they don't go flying about a mile, which is kind of nice. It's going to make recovery a lot easier in an event. Triple has a nice spread. Mega feels real good. MXL and MXL again. So I'm getting about 60 feet per second with MXL. That's the only thing I have chronoed so far. I'm very, very happy with this as a design. Silly has once again made something interesting for the hobby space that feels really good in the hand. I will be looking for a different pump grip. I've got a Paragonal on there because I just like them. But I want something a little more conventional for this, and where I'm not beating up against this and beating back into my grip assembly. But the BattleAxe by SillyButts. Kits are available on both Silver Fox and Out of Darts. And the prints are available on Silly's printables. There will be a link down below. I'll also link to the Vested Clover remix, which again just remixes some of these front components to enable you to do full-length Mega XL, should you wish to. I'm a dwarf, and this is my axe.